All right, we can discuss this with political consultant and human rights defender Arnaud Develay. Arnaud, great to have you on the program with us. Some argue attempts by nations to restrict access to social networks like the current push we're seeing in France are less about protecting children and more about controlling online discourse. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with that or disagree?
Well, I do know that whenever a government instrumentality, such as the French National Assembly, suddenly makes it a priority on the agenda to attend to the young French people's state of being, I'm always automatically suspicious. Obviously, there are already pre-existing mechanical devices which allow parental guidance and prevent any kind of foray into improper sites. Let's call it this way. And so the technology already does exist. It's just a matter of good parenting. Now, what this reveals is some kind of an insidious scheme, not unlike what we've seen before, bearing on issue of financing terrorism in order to crash on the use of cash by the citizenry, which basically aims at using a pretext, albeit a very laudable pretext, one which politically could not be called into question, in order to create a precedent which would then probably see the measure to be extended to the whole of the population. We have a very sensitive election coming up in 18 months in France, a key election, with a incumbent president which is hovering, whose opinion polls hover maybe like 8%, if that. And obviously the system is in panic, and they're doing everything they can to try to make sure they can muzzle negative opinion and criticism. And one of the ways to do so is to crack down on hate online under the guise of protecting children.
You know, we have seen this, of course, before during the pandemic. We saw a lot of censorship under the guise of, public health. We've also seen justifications like countries previously citing Russian interference and danger to children to, in order to have these controls over social networks. Do you think the European population buys these justifications or even agrees with it?
By and large, I would say they are not buying it, but unfortunately, there's not much anybody can do. It will require some kind of mass mobilization. We've seen what mass mobilization in Western countries have led to in recent years. When the system decides to move forward with any kind of measures, that's usually dictated and drafted in the arcane halls of Davos or the Bilderberg. There's not much anybody can do about it. And if there is a semblance of muscled resistance, then they will send the militarized police. This is what we've seen recently with the peasant in France, also in Holland before that. And of course, need to remind anybody what happened to the Yellow Vest movement. They were essentially dealt with through exhaustion, leading to a lot of hands being torn apart from arms of people and gouged eyes. So, this is a whole new world, a brave new world. And as Sarkozy might have said once, this is a new order and we're going to go there. Nothing nor anybody will prevent us from getting where we're going. This is it.
So briefly, if you can, because we're short on time, Arnaud, what kind of pushback do you think we could see to this growing regulation of social media?
Well, I think we could see attempt to legally in national parliaments put the brakes on some of those measures, introducing amendments. One of the main questions that seems to be hovering right now during the debates, keeping in mind that particular law you referred to still has to clear the Senate, bears on what to do with the database of the internet users. We've seen recently again that a lot of institutional websites have been hijacked in France, leading to the theft of massive amount of databases, private databases. So this is a legitimate question, and this could be a mean to somewhat put the brakes on the overall law, but I don't think ultimately it will prevent the latter from being passed and implemented.
All right. Political consultant and human rights defender Arnaud de Vallée. Arnaud, thank you.